Not sure how you fit in these things, but we're getting there. Seats all back. I think you gotta put the top down to drive them, must be. Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the South Main Auto Channel. Sitting inside the 2003 Thunderbird. Ford Thunder! I've never worked on one of these, so I don't know what engine. Maybe we can tell by the sound. Ooh, Ford Thunder. Sounds like a V8 of some sort. Probably a 4.6. Money lights on. 103, 389 on the clock. Guy wants to know what's up. That's it. Now you know what I know. Try to get this thing in. How do people drive these things? It's like sitting inside of a freaking Buick. Yeah, see, I told you it was a V8. That's it. Okay, let's grab a scan tool because we're not going to learn much from here, but it is V8. Okay, let's see. I was looking for the battery and I gave up on that. I believe it's in the trunk, so I popped the trunk because if it's like any other car, work on the battery, it would be dead here in about 5 seconds. According to this, it's a 3.9 liter 4-valve. Interesting. I don't know if that's correct, but perhaps it is. So we did a scan. We're going to hit report. What does this say anything up here? 2003 Thunderbird 3.9. Huh. Alright, that's fun. This is stupid. Small EVAP leak. Alright. Small EVAP leak. Okay. Well, let's go. It's not going to be a super fun video, but we don't know what we're going to do till we start the video. And frankly, I need video, so we're not going to scrap this one. Let's go active test, see what kind of stuff we have here. I imagine typical Ford stuff. Purge and vent valve. Well, of course, I think they call it something else. But it'll be that style. It'll be very similar to GM and Nissan and Honda. Yeah, vapor management valve is what they call it. So that's your purge valve. Canister vent valve. Let's see if we can take and just turn it on. We don't need to do it in a duty cycle. We just want it on and off. So let's just look at some data here real quick. So fuel tank pressure on an older Ford, atmospheric pressure is typically 2.5 volts, right? Let's see, canister vent valve. Okay, so let's just see where we're at atmospheric pressure wise. So we're 2.8. I don't really hear anything clicking back there. And we didn't let the car run, so I don't really see much. I don't really expect much to change here. I might hear a really faint click over the birds there. Okay, well, let's take in, before we even get it up in the air, let's see if we can find this vapor management valve and see what we can do. See if we can hook into it. First thing we want to know, though, is the drive cycle done? I'm going to assume it is because we don't have your classic P1000. So Fords will throw a P1000 for monitors not set, which is usually helpful. I'm trying to pull out all my old Ford knowledge here. 03's getting up there pretty good. But the easiest thing to do here is we'll go through and check generic OBD2. Yeah, and indeed, monitors are set and there is only the one code. I think I showed this in another video. Really something cool they've done here on the Altel with this recent update. If these monitors aren't set, you'll have the red X, monitor not complete. So that's pretty cool. And we'll just make sure the same code's here. Should be the 442. Always good to go into generic OBD2, no matter what. Let's see. 442, yep. Okay, fantastic. Back when there were simpler times, folks, vapor management valve right here, aka the purge valve. This one does have a little hookup for us. We can hook the Avoca Smoka, which died on me. So I told you maybe a couple videos ago we were doing those Chevys there. with the rotted out sending units. I showed you the two different versions of that, the plastic ones that break and then the metal ones that rot out. Two different trucks, same exact problem. I mentioned there that the Harbor Freight one doesn't really smoke like it used to, so I switched to the OG Avoca smoker. Well, that one died on me. Now the lights just flash on it. So I don't know. But anyhow, we're back to the Harbor Freight one, despite its lack of smoke. Let's hook it up here and see if we indeed have a leak. There, we had to wait for some construction equipment to go by there. They're crack sealing the road out here. Alright, we're going to screw that little guy on. And then, like I said, we're going to use the old Harbor Freight icon. It just doesn't smoke as good as it used to. And, of course, it gets used a lot. And one of my viewers actually wrote that he did almost kind of like a decalcification. You know, the old vinegar and water routine that you would do like with a old drip coffee pot, I guess. He said he did that to his smoke machine and it works like 100 times better. So, I thought about trying that. There's no hookup under the hood here for a remote jump start, which I'm kind of surprised. Unless I'm an idiot. Of course, I'm not going to read the owner's manual or anything like that to find out. So we have to hook the smoke machine. I say this, we have to hook the smoke machine to an auxiliary battery. I've got one here, an old battery I took out of a car. It still has a little juice in it. Alright, took her up to an air hose. Full send it. Got the smoker on. Let's go get the scan tool here. Oh shoot, we don't have the vehicle info in here anymore. Let's see. 03 Thunderbird. Sounds fast. Well, I can smell it. I don't smell gas, but I smell the smoke. I smell smoke. Who remembers Bill Cosby back, you know, before everybody hated him? I don't know if everybody hates him, but what was it? Bill Cosby himself. I think I had that VHS. Talks about going to the dentist. I smell smoke in my mouth. Talked about being numb. I don't know. I guess you had to be there. If you know, you know. Okay. Vent valve. Boom. We want to look at fuel tank pressure again. So we're going to grab that and the kilopascals, whatever the heck those are. But we just want to look at voltage. Oh, good. PSI. 39.6 PSI. Wow. Alright, on, off. Huh. Not seeing any change there, fella. I'm going to go ahead and turn the flow off here. Let's see, I'm shutting the flow off on the machine. I want to see if that... Almost there. Flow is turned all the way off. No change in pressure. We got full flow all the way on. Nothing. The 39.6 kilopascals. I have no idea what that translates to in English. But I know 2.5 volts is pretty normal. 2.8 seems a little bit off. We've got some smoke leaking down here. Probably missing the O-ring out of my adapter. Tighten that up a little bit. Still leaking like a sieve. Tighten it up a little bit excessive. And it's still leaking. Now I can't get it back off. Mother! Come on, man! Alright, well, other than everything going wrong, we're on the right track. Here's your problem, lady. You're missing your O-ring. Should be a gasket down inside there because that thing pushes the Schrader valve in. There should be an O-ring, but I don't know where it is. So I will do what any other good employee would do. I will put that right in there. We will pretend we didn't see it. zip it all up and let it be the next guy's problem. Plan B, remove the purge valve and just hook directly to the line. Using an adapter kit. So we did that. Just had to slide that off the bracket. It just sits up on this bracket here. Uses that little clip and clips on there. So we just have that sitting out of the way. Got the Avoca smoker rolling the coal again. Now I've got it on the lift. Let's lift it up and see what's up with that vent valve. See if it's not working or if we just have a super major leak. Where's the gas cap on this thing, by the way? Make sure it's just okay. I want to make sure it's on before I take it off. Looks nice. Everything looks shiny. The old one-click wonder. Looking like she's getting some free undercoating. All right, let's try to identify some components if we can. I smell it. Where's everything lit? We got some shmabook back here. Oh gosh, is everything buried up above that? I smell the gas. Oh, okay, so there's your classic Ford vent valve up there, and she is flowing like a banshee. Okay. Well, heck, that's the easy one. That's the easy one, lady. Let's see. Nice. Looks like she's blowing right out of the vent valve. Let me set you guys down. Show you. That's weird. The fresh air side is just kind of open. Usually they have a filter or something on it. Well, let me set you down until I get my digits up there. I know you're not going to be able to see much. Oh, if I'm going to be able to get my finger over that thing. Out there. I just want to see if that's making anything better. Let me see if I can get a little cap. We can just cover it up. I have this little red cap in my bit of kit there. Oh. It's in a highly inconvenient spot, directly above the rear diff here. I got the little red cap up there and plugged it off, so you know, that solenoid looks pretty good for one that doesn't work. Usually these Fords or like the Nissans or that, you know, around I call them the cigar style, big stogie looking ones. Usually they're all swollen and rusty. Well, this one isn't. So I said, you know what, my guy, you better go check, make sure I actually turned it on. And I button pushing over there, I didn't turn it on, so I clicked it on and bloop, you know, shuts off. So it seems to work fine. So now I'm just waiting for the system to fill with smoke so we can see where the real leak is, and it is not the vent valve. So we're hurrying up and waiting. Hopefully the old Harbor Freight puts out enough smoke that we can see where in the world this is going, because everything looks pretty clean under here. So maybe some rodent damage somewhere. I do see like some staining over here on the side of the tank. Let me show you. So usually we look for stuff like this when you see like these old stains. Usually that's an indicator of gas, but being this thing's pissing out so much oil, it's, oh no, we got smoke over here. I'm gonna say it may be oil. Oh, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck, because I wonder, you can't just drop this tank, drop the tank, I drop the exhaust, and then you gotta drop the drive shaft. That don't sound like fun. I wonder if it has an access panel. So we have, I don't, can you guys see the smoke in the camera? Usually if you put the light beam on it. So we got smoke raining over this way. This is where the staining is as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, you can't see anything. There's literally nothing to see here. And I'm not just trying to sound cliche. There's nothing to see here, folks. Nothing right here on the side of the tank. Yeah, it's definitely kind of coming from up top somewheres and then down and around. Wild, man. And I mean, this thing, I can't even stick my finger between the tank and the body. There's a little bit of opening there in this tunnel. How about this? How about we look to see if there's an access panel? And if there is, we'll access it. And if there isn't, at this point, we need customer permission to pull the tank and see what's up. Which, like I say, that's exhaust and drive shaft. I guess it's probably not too big a deal. With a little bit of luck, the tank will be full right to the tippy top. Because that's usually how it works. But I'm surprised it throws only a small leak code. Because that's pretty massive. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. So I was doing a little looking here in service data. I wanted to find a picture of stuff. She's a twin pumper. One main pump, transfer pump probably. But here's what I wanted to see is, so there's a bunch of crap on top of the tank. You know, of course, you got all your EVAP junk up here. Can you guys see that in the picture? Enhance. So it's looking like, so what's number 21 there? Number 21, they're calling the fuel delivery tube quick connect fitting removal mount. Well, okay, because I wanted to see what this was. So this is just a transfer tube, which is interesting because the leak seems to be over in this area. If this is oriented correctly, which I believe it is, because I think I seen this hose here going back to the canister area. So I assume that, well, no, what's number 19? Okay, well, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe this is back asswards, but in either case, there's a lot of plumbing up here. All it takes is one mouse to go up there and have a little bit of fun to ruin our day. Now, I did look and see, you know, I was kind of looking here to see what's involved. It's not a fuel pump, it's called a fuel delivery module. Well, and their note for it is to drain the fuel from the tank prior to removal. All right, so that's fun. And then I saw, I saw that the fuel pump labor, it says fuel and transfer pump 2.7 hours, so that indicates to me that we must remove the tank. Hopefully we don't need a new one. The jet pump is $1,100 from Ford. The other one's $1,300 from Ford, so they're pretty proud of those things. So here's the deal as a shop owner. At this point, I need to call the customer. We've gathered all of our preliminary data that we can without tearing everything apart. Looks like the vent valve works, some kind of big leak on top of the tank. Tank's got to come down, obviously. We'll have to look, see how much fuel's in it. Some things that have me concerned is, you know, being that it's a 22-year-old car, lower mileage for a 22-year-old car, obviously not driven in the winter, so it sits, probably parked in the barn. I would imagine that there's probably some rodent damage up there. That would be my guess. Mice love to eat those plastic lines and stuff off from tanks. I don't know why, but they do. They like to eat that stuff. They like to eat plastic. Top of the tank is a great place for a mouse to build a nest. I don't smell any mouse piss on it. Of course, I don't smell that really well unless it's like super heavy. But that's what I suspect. My fear is, being that it's, older than 10 years old and it's a Ford, is we're not going to be able to get parts for it. So that would kind of suck to drop the tank down and be like, well, we need that hose assembly, but we can't get it. In which case we'd just, we'll fabric cobble something. Just to get the guy, back in order. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But first and foremost, you need to have customer permission to tear it apart, and he needs kind of a rough idea, you know, labor-wise. So I'll just give him the labor to, you know, R&R the tank, and then it'll be pending on what parts we need, and then I'll let him make the decision. So that's just how it works in the shop. If it's your own car, rip her apart, get her done. But that's how we have to do things. So that's it. Then we're going to be working on this relic next. So if we get the job on this, I'll record it. Otherwise, you don't know any more than I do right now, and this video is probably pretty useless for anybody looking for an EVAP leak on their Thunderbird. That's the way the cookie crumbles, folks. Go down in that comment section. Crumble your own cookies. Insty, Facebook, you know where we're at. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.